That shit is old. You just have to wait for your Luciferian overlord to give you the okay to be receptive to it. Ben knew that shit. Told y'all these some squatters, pilgrims, Puritans, and Quakers. They don't even belong over here. For real. There is no documentary, that little constitution, that shit is null and void. The corporation got crashed in 1923. When they told you that the Great Depression, that's what that was about. It was over with then. And they got people to re-sign up with the United States of America. That was a whole nother corporation. You're in a corporate matrix and not even aware of it. And I keep telling people about the papyrus of Ani. Because that's the foundation of Raynology that we use to bring out the gates of Raynology that will allow you to compensate that, right? To compensate those directives. Know thyself. Spend every day of your life preparing for the afterlife. For in doing so, you receive access to the keys to eternal life. And third, pour libation for those that have preceded you in death in the valley of the kings. Everybody the world over do that except for people in the New World and North America. The people in the New World and North America do not do that. And now you wonder why the foreigners or people that are not from here indigenously, right? Not native, indigenously. They don't want to rock with you. They talking their language right in front of your face. I'm telling you one of the things they be saying. I don't see this being's ancestors around them. They don't see them. They know you're not locked in. And a lot of these women, boy, y'all better wake up. Y'all better wake up. Because that's the issue. I was saying that in our community. I was like, we don't have no young women. There's no young women here. Y'all think y'all got time. You don't have time. Ask the women that's a perfect 10. Shout out to Kevin Savage. Ask that girl that's a perfect 10. She got swooped up off the market at 21, 22. If you ain't swooped up off the market, because y'all outnumber us, but if nigga don't swoop you up off the market by 25, you don't have wise counsel. Your counsel was unwise. And those women that you listening to, they tripping you up because they see you as competition. Because they didn't get swooped up by 25. You hear me? And if they did, the being realized that this being is not addressing their deficits. You think a woman gonna kick it with a guy that hasn't addressed his deficits? We can't. It ain't no double standard to that, fellas and women. It ain't no double standard to that. You better address your deficits. Stop going around people and you know you got deficits and they haven't been addressed. Don't be saying that goofy shit. I got dysfunction. Then you should not be around people. How you gonna say that you dysfunctional and you not addressing your dysfunction? That's a malfunction on self-awareness. You know you dysfunctional and you're not gonna address it? How are you functioning? You're not. And you're doing everybody around you a disservice if you're not going to address it. Thank you, timekeeper. 12-12. You're doing everybody around you. Do you think you helping? You ain't helping nobody if you can't help yourself. You're not helping anyone. You need to address your deficits. Then you'll be operating with a conscious incompetence. And that's when you recognize that you have deficits and you're more than willing to address those deficits. Some people don't want to address, hey man, I'm just fucked up. I had a fucked up childhood. Don't give me the response because you done fucked up. Put a helmet on your head and be like this. Then I'll accept it then. Like, okay, this person is highly incompetent. They're incapable. But don't give me rebuttals. Don't give me slick talk. Don't speak perfect grammar or grimoire and then tell me that you got a dysfunction and you haven't addressed it. Especially if you don't have epileptic seizures. If you don't have epileptic seizures, that's different. If it ain't at that level, you're bullshitting. You're lazy. Like the sister, she put it in the comment section. She was right about that. You're quite narcissistic. And you're making other people have to deal with your deficits. The things that you need to address that you're not addressing. And when somebody point that shit out to you, you turn into the Tasmanian devil. Address that shit. There's a brother like me, address that shit. And I'm going to let you know. I ain't going to put no filter on it. And I don't give two fucks how you feel about it. Because shit, you didn't get two fucks about it either. So why should I? You hear me? You don't give a damn to address it. So I'm not going to be careful with how I address you. I'm going to give it to you raw. Like Method Man. Right on, Ayana. Accountability is shit is hand in hand. But that's the unconscious incompetence. Conscious competence. Listen, individual actively seek or work on acquiring new skills on the knowledge that they have attained. Right? Conscious competence. Individuals actively working on acquiring new skills on the knowledge that they have attained. And that knowledge is based on the deficits that they had, and they seeked out the knowledge to address those deficits. And once you get to a content of consciousness, now you done went through the tiers of consciousness. I done illustrated to you guys before, and I'm going to put this up on the board, but I got more people that came in here outside of the ones that was already in here, and I'll show it to you guys again. This is conscious in context. The people that belong to the 1089 tech community, they highly aware of this. Let me turn my camera to the side so y'all can see it. All right. Those are the 4 tiers of the spectrums of conscious and context. Most people are in the blue section. They're operating with an unconscious incompetence. Most individuals, especially here in the Western world, have an unconscious incompetence. And again, at this level, individuals don't realize what they don't know. They don't even realize what they don't know. They may even deny the importance of understanding certain things. That's where the cognizant dissonance kicks in. That's where the cognizant dissonance kicks in. And that's also where the fluoritic stairs begin to come in. You got a calcified endocrine system, not just a pineal gland, your whole endocrine system. And you don't even know the importance of understanding certain things. You have no clue. I got family members that cuss in front of the elders, in front of their grandparents, in front of their great grandparents. And they not even standing in their own home when they doing it. And I address it like, yo, why the fuck you cussing in front of them? I can say what the fuck I want to. Yeah, you can, but show some etiquette. Have some cool. You hear me? These are unconscious, incompetent individuals. They are not aware of themselves. They have a poor sense of who they are. They're looking outside of themselves to define who they are. And you're inside of the body. You're not outside of it. So at this level, individuals don't realize what they don't know. You don't even realize what you don't know. The best thing you can do is just shut the fuck up and listen, right? And they also deny the importance of understanding certain things. So they deny the shit. Like, oh, I don't need to know that. That's the old way. The new way is not to know nothing and just say fuck it. Say that shit from under a bridge and see how that work out for you. Go camp up under the embankments and see how that work out. And keep that same attitude. I bet you your shit switch up real fast. I bet you rein yourself in and learn how to shut the fuck up then. Then you get the conscious incompetence. And again, here people recognize their lack of knowledge. You recognize you got a lack of knowledge. They become aware of their deficits and seek to address them. This is conscious incompetence. When you have a conscious competence, individuals actively work on acquiring new skills on knowledge. That's when your conscious becomes competent. And this is the degree of consciousness that I seek to bring people to within our community, so that you can start acquiring or actively working on acquiring new skills on knowledge. And I present these things in seminar. If you've been taking notes, you should be applying the stuff. Like, I just don't show what I show in seminar for people to just be taking notes on. These are instructions for you to put into application, right? The content of consciousness, what you're aware of, your environment, and yourself. Yeah, you saying that backwards. Man, the spirit is the byproduct of the etheric self. The byproduct or the residue of the soul is the etheric self, right? The residue of the soul is the etheric self. The residue of the etheric self is the spiritual self. The residue of the spirit self is electromagnetism or plasma. And the residue of that is the flesh and blood. If you got some questions, this is Q&A with Dr.RÉ. I'm sure you mean well. But we got to keep it in context. Right? And remember, conscious is both functional for reasoning and planning and subjective. It's like climbing a mountain, gaining new perspective as you evolve. Right? Conscious is both functional for reasoning and planning. That's in the executive functions in your brain, right in the frontal lobe cortex. And it's subjective. So it's like a climbing mountain. It's like climbing a mountain and gaining new perspective as you evolve, right? And I think, well, I know that these things have to be addressed. This is why I always say hashtag spirituality for beginners, right? For those people that don't have teachers, that don't have guides, that have not been corrected, that haven't been wrong enough, because you can't be right until you're wrong. You hear me? And I don't care how long you've been studying. You ain't never had no teacher. I will correct you. That's I'm gonna, and I don't even have to look away. I can just tell by what you type what you're capable of understanding, overstanding, and or understanding. Because you got to have overstanding first to have before you can get to an understanding. Overstanding will get you to address your deficits. That's why I tell people to ask questions. And if you get drawn into it, right, and I ain't talking about my people that subscribe to me. I ain't talking about the people that hit the notification bell, right? I'm talking about the people that's been drawn into this space. If you've been drawn into this space, there's a high probability that your own oversoul guided you in here. It's a high probability that someone that you have lost on the other side has drawn you into this space. It's a high probability of that. And the reason being is because they're not being nourished, and you owe them a debt of gratitude. And you're not doing enough to facilitate them. You're not. That's why they draw y'all in here. And again, I ain't talking to the people that hit the notification bell. I'm not talking to you people that be liking all the posts and reposts. I'm not talking to y'all. I'm talking to the people I ain't never seen your ass before. You just popped up out of nowhere. That's not by coincidence. You can listen to me or you don't. It don't matter. I'm still gonna do what I'm gonna do anyway. And in a lot of cases, listen, I got people on the other side facilitating these same individuals that I'm talking about. And they doing more for them than you ever had since they've been gone. And this is your wake-up call. This is your prompting. They attempting to get your attention. They have attempted to get your attention. And you keep, you operating in the unconscious incompetence. Right? You're operating in unconscious incompetence. And at this level, people don't even realize what they don't know. They may even deny the importance of understanding certain things. They'll deny that shit. Like, oh, that ain't important. No, I don't need to know that. I know this. I read it in the book. Listen, knowledge, although it is very necessary, it in itself is not a sufficient condition. I'll say that one more time. Knowledge, although it is very necessary, it in itself is not a sufficient condition. It's not. It just isn't. You might want it to be, just like money. Money is very necessary. However, it in itself is not a sufficient condition. It's not going to cover you up from being a piece of shit. The person, they'll sacrifice their full integrity, their moral character, their moral consciousness, the sense of addressing their own deficits for money. And they end up having to pay for people to be around them. They don't even have no genuine friends. They don't even have a genuine connection. That's empty. That's spiritually bankrupt. People will go spiritually bankrupt in order to be financially sustained. They show you that story in The Miracle on 25th Street, right? The Christmas story with Scrooge. Ah, bad humbug. That nigga had all that money and just lonely. Loneliness is different from being alone. It's an external reflection of your internal emptiness. You hear me? Okay, men. Do you got a question, men? You posted a little bit too much. You posted too much. Anybody got any questions? Let's leave the comment section open for people that got questions. I don't need nobody in my comment section teaching. I need that to be reserved for people that got questions. Because once them, and then when y'all ask the question, y'all see me answering somebody's question, please allow me to answer the question first. Don't be asking me a barrage of questions while you see I'm answering somebody's questions. I will get to you. And if my moderator is available, he will pin it to the top of the page for it. All right? But we're going to go through the 3 tiers of the mind and where it is located in your body so that your consciousness flows through it. And we went over this yesterday, and we're going to go back over it again today. Right? And we'll keep touching on these subjects until someone asks us the right question, and then we'll erase it off the board. Yeah, we didn't already covered all of that before, men. You knew here. You knew. Do you got any questions? Do you pour a libation every day? Do you have an activated altar in your home? Let me ask you some questions. Because we didn't already covered all that stuff you talking about. I'm just keeping it 10K with you, man. I'm sure you got a TikTok page. You can go to your page and go live there. So what are the 5 most things for an altar to have? A picture, a candle, some food, some water. You can Google that shit. You can get the little YouTube version, or you can take my discourse, which I don't even just come join us in July. Let me just put it like that. I don't give out that information for free no more because too many people venerate the devil and they listening right now, unbeknownst to you. And they'll use you as a guinea pig, knowing that you don't know none of that. I got the right type of discernment. Come join our community and learn about these things. That type of knowledge I gave out for free years ago. Turned a whole bunch of people into gatekeepers for the devil. That's why there's so much darkness on here now. Right? But those are the main components, the things that I just told you about. Focus on pouring the libation every day. Because you ain't got an altar at this point. You shouldn't even be asking me them damn questions. You should be figuring out, how can I get into this brother's community and get on? Because I got over 40 students up under me. And a lot of these niggas come into my group just to take the discourse. Just to take the discourse. Once they get that shit, they get the fuck on. And all y'all that then left, because some people had to be put out. But all those that had left, I know you want to come back. Like, damn, man, why the fuck did I leave? I got questions. Your ego done fucked you up. Now you on the other side, and you're like, damn, I still got questions. I shouldn't have never left. Your people that came to me and told me. Don't be a thief. See, most people are thieves. They want something for nothing. And when you want something for nothing, you a thief. You don't even be worthy of having that type of information. But that's the reason why y'all get pulled on in here. Y'all not doing enough for them. It's unfortunate that the members of my own family got to facilitate. Because my mama working diligently. May the ancestors be with her. Commandeering the souls and bringing them on in. And reining them on in. And getting me on here to be a medium. Using this platform as a medium for you guys to connect to them. Because you ain't been doing enough, if anything at all. Go look at the movie Coco. That came straight from the ancestral plane. That movie, the movie Soul, they had to put it in a cartoon form. You hear me? And a lot of y'all just told your kid to sit down and watch it, or your child. Hey, sit down and watch this movie. Damn. And you just doom scrolling through your phone. Watch the damn movie. Your ass need to be watching the movie. Your child already in tune. They know all that shit. And they be thinking it too, like, damn, your ass need to be sitting here and watching it. Y'all miss those intuitive promptings. I'm going to start doing house visits next. That's going to be my next thing. Because when it comes to an altar, for the being that asks that, you got to have a space to put an altar first. Your life got to kind of be in some type of order in order for you to have an altar. You can't be living with somebody else and say, and be trying to get an altar and try to put your altar up. It ain't even your own house. Some of y'all sleeping on people's couches. You're still living with your mother or your father or your both of them. And they like, hey, man, don't be putting all that voodoo shit up in my house. You better go get your own shit. Could that be the main thing? People be like, man, I want to take your discourse. Like, okay, where you live at? Oh, man, I stay with my girlfriend right now. Like, no, that shit ain't going to work. I stay with my man. That ain't going to work, man. You got to have your own. That's a clear sign that you out of alignment with the things that your ancestors wanted for you in your life. You done fell out of alignment with that. Like, man, I got 3 roommates. Ah, shit, I got to put it in my living room. Oh, I can't do that, man. Shit. It can't be like that, man. You miss those promptings. I don't be lying. I'm just telling y'all what I know. And shouts out to DIs. Because DI, my sister over there right now in the afterlife, may the ancestors be with her. I didn't know she was doing that. But she came with that report with me like, yeah, Doc. She didn't even know that was my sister. That was very moving. And everybody in the tech community, y'all got to see that in real time yesterday. But it's a lot of malnourished souls. Y'all not taking care of them. My own family is looking out for your people. We don't even know who the fuck you are, let alone know who they are. Y'all come up in here with your chest all popped out and you think you own something. Like you're going to live 10,000 years. You're going to be in that same damn line. I call it the soul soup kitchen. Because ain't nobody going to pour you no libation every day. Ain't nobody going to tell your stories after you gone. Ain't nobody going to remember your name. You didn't have enough positive impact on the people in the life that you was living right now. You hear me? If I was extricated from this realm right now, so many people would be venerating me and throwing flowers for me because I done made a positive impact on their life. Right? He said that one room where people had their family pictures and good dishes is that. Yeah, that's a call to ritual. That's what that shit is really called. You being called to ritual and don't even know it. That place where you got that TV at and you got that coffee table you call an altar or that is actually a loose altar. You got candles and aesthetics all around the TV. People got altars for their TV. I walk into most people's house, they got an altar for their TV, but they don't got one for their grandmama that left them a life insurance policy so that they could have that TV. It'd be that type of shit. Or some people got altars in their home, and it's for Lucifer. They got one for Lilith. They got one for Baphomet. They have an altar for Satan, right? Or any other type of egregor that they haven't met physically. You don't owe them nothing. You owe that to your progenitors, especially the women in your bloodline, right? But 9 times out of 10, the people that's you you miss so many promptings. You got to have your own home first, or your own apartment, or your own house, or townhome. Because then you would just be, you just like you just stealing information. You will start doing this shit, and I'll say this too. Stop letting people move in with your ass. You got an altar in place. Don't let nobody move in your house. Don't let nobody move in. And you get that damn, you get that sim from them. Hey, don't let nobody move in here. And your ass, they like, hey, don't let them move in here. They tell you 3rd time, hey, don't let them move in here. You let them move in anyway. They like, yo, what you over there doing? They start fucking with your altar. You hear me? Why you gone? Why you gone? They want to fuck with your altar. Taking pictures of it, doing all type of shit. And they done already told you don't let the person move in there. But you want to operate with an unconscious incompetence, right? And that's the unconscious mind. Dealing with the unconscious awake state. While you're awake, 90% of what you're doing is functioning off of your unconscious mind, which resides in your heart. That's why your heart beating so fast. Because your mind had to break down into 3 dimensions. But most individuals are only thinking in 2 dimensions. They're only thinking in 2 dimensions. They thinking clockwise, right? And when I say clockwise, for the being is talking all that spiral shit, let me break that down, because like I told you, we didn't already covered all of that before. We done did that shit 7, 8, 9, 10 times. And I'm sure that you mean well. But you done came to the right place or the wrong place at the right time with that type of stuff. Instead of asking the question, you want to try to show me what you think you know. And that's cool for somebody that don't know shit. But I've been on this 29 years, right? I've been certified. So well, this is Q&A with Dr.RÉ, Ill Gnostic, right? Q&A, questions and answers. There is no particular topic. It's based on the questions that you ask. And we cover everything under, over, and within the sun, under and over and within the planet, under and over and within the body, on world, off world, and in the afterlife. Right? So most people are thinking in 2 dimensions. You know, like when you look at a clock, that's 2-dimensional aspect of time, right? This is 3 dimension, dealing with the spear. Notice I didn't write none of this stuff up. I don't know if the being, they probably done ran up out of here. We already had this up on the board, and this ain't the first or the second or the third time that we done had this up here. So what that gave me an indicator, the more that you kept talking like, oh, this person don't be venerated. Because I could hear your people telling me that. Like you're not doing something right. That's why they drew you into this space. Like, yo, you need to get with this nigga. They coursing through your veins right now. Right? They not in some spooky place. That's their body that you carrying around. That's not your body. That's theirs. Now, if you got children, them children are carrying around your body or aspects of you, but that body belong to them too. Right? This is spiritual knowledge, which will give you understanding. The spear, also symbolic of spiritual, and we covered this. How long ago, Dia Eyes? How many events ago was that? That was about That was about 10 events ago, right? Talking about spear ritual. Yeah, that was years ago. So when y'all people get drawn into this room, I'm telling you, you're not telling me nothing that we ain't already covered. And I'm not saying that to be arrogant and none of that. I'm not, you might take it like this nigga think he know it all, but you on my fucking page. You wasn't in here when I said, hey, leave the comment section open for people to ask questions. You see, people don't be in alignment. They think they in alignment till they get hit with this damn stab. I hit your ass with this stab. Then you like, oh shit. Well, all these damn synchronicities keep happening. What that nigga do to me? I woke your ass up. Right? Now I'm just gotta put it out there. So the 3 dimensions is dealing with a sphere. 2 dimensions is a circle. And this is why a lot of y'all flat earthers keep saying that the earth is flat. Because a circle lays on a flat surface. Not flat in the way that you're using flat. Because you processing things on an unconscious level. You're not using your conscious mind to process information. You're not. Most of you are using your unconscious mind. And your unconscious mind takes care of all of your involuntary functions in your body. You don't tell yourself, you don't tell your lungs to breathe. You don't tell your heart to beat. While your unconscious mind is taking care of that, your focus, your concentration and will is externally peering into the 3rd dimension so that you can focus on what's going on outside of you. You follow? What you have the ability to do is to increase the access to the focus and concentration levels of the conscious mind. And it has the ability to override what the unconscious mind is attempting to do to the conscious mind, which is bring the consciousness below the brow chakra and back down into the heart. It does that through your desires, your emotions, right? And it also uses your memory to complete that task. It can only alter the thoughts, the emotions, and the desires that have already been placed in the abdominal brain, called the bosom. Because like I tell my students, you can't cover the capacities of who you are spiritually until you first have mastered who you are physically. You want to deal with the physical aspects of who you are first. Because once you cover who you are physically, then you can start going through the capacity of who you are spiritually. When you do things like this will bring you into a conscious competence. And you'll be competent in refining the new skills that you acquire on the knowledge that you have attained. So when I give you these words of power, when I give you certain invocations to say, and you go out there and you project them at the sun, you get results. You hear me? You get the result. That's how the results come. And like I said, a lot of people, they be shying away. They like, oh shit, this nigga asking me to do something. I don't want to do shit. I thought he was here. I thought he was going to do everything for me. I'm not here to, it's up to you. I'm here to wake up that lion in you. I wasn't lying, pun intended, when I said that. I'm here to wake up that lion in you. I'm here to wake up that dormant eagle in you. That phoenix bird that's been residing inside of your unconscious mind dormantly. Here to wake that up. Because you over here in the spiritual earth and you're peering through your senses into the physical earth in the awakened state where your unconscious mind is reigning supreme, right? And you're here to experience it externally, peering through your senses. Experience or experiences. See that? That's what's going on. Once you're able to peer through the grimoire, which keeps letting you, keep prompting you to tap into your desires and your emotions and your thoughts. Your heart's desires, the thoughts on your heart, or the emotions that are moving your heart, and not your conscious mind, not your brain. See, they try to tell you your brain. It's the difference between your brain and your conscious mind. And the mind is not tangible. You hear me? It's not a physical aspect. He said they never notify me for the live, even when I have it set. Oh yeah, they do that on purpose. Hey, they doing all of that on purpose. Live 6969 or level 69. I don't know if that means, I don't know what all of that means, but yeah, they do that on purpose. They don't want you to know. You know, they try to block it because, like I said, they need people to be operating in their unconscious mind. Now, if I had some music playing and I was in here doing the Watusi and I had and I had my shirt all tied in a knot and I was acting zesty, they'd be like, man, send everybody into his room. We want everybody to pay attention to this brother. That's the man we've been looking for right there. And I start doing the Carlton and all of that shit. And I start acting like a gesture. There'd be rushing there, man. There'd be 10,000 people in this room right now. I have 100 million likes. Tell me I'm lying. Tell me I'm lying. But you know what I mean? If I was on Goof Troop time, man, they have been bringing everybody in this motherfucker. They'd be sending you notification after notification after notification after notification. You will be watching another live. It'll block you up out of that live and bring you into there. You'll be like, man, what is this goofy shit? And that's what they want you to do. That way they can see if they got you, they got your conscious mind focusing on your desires and your emotions. They can pull you closer to the heart and commandeer or acquiesce your conscious mind, which only has 10%, only 10%, and that ain't all you have, but only 10% of your conscious mind is needed to reign in the physical earth, right? To reign in the physical earth. Let me make it look three-dimensional for y'all, right? Three-dimensional earth. I don't know nothing about that two-dimensional shit. People saying the earth is flat. The earth is flat. In order for something to be flat, it got to be inflated. I'll say that again because I always got to drill these things home. In order for something to be flat, it first had to be inflated. And if it was inflated first, then it had to be deflated before it get to the degree to where now it's flat. Are y'all picking up what I'm putting down? We got any questions out there? Let's get some questions. Let's get some questions in the comments section. Any questions? No questions? Oh. Shouts out to Baba. What's up, Baba? Baba RBK up in the building. I see you, loved one. Said today the earth will have a shift. The earth shift every day. You must be speaking about the solar eclipse. Whatever it's going to do. I was already at my altar every AM like I am, doing my rituals every day. And like I tell my students, if you're doing your stuff, if you dedicated and devoted to the liberation of your dearly departed, your rituals, your meditations, your prayers, your affirmations, your incantations, if you're doing them on a daily basis, 1 to 3 times a day, I don't care if the planet is shifting. I don't care if we in a solar eclipse, a lunar eclipse, a planetary alignment, a Jupiter alignment, or a Saturn alignment. And as long as you're doing your shit every day, you're going to be in alignment. Said, is there a correlation between the woman and Earth, Moon in your studies? You just answered your own question. He said, or what is the correlation? You just answered your own question. Because the moon used to be a part of the earth, right? It broke off from the planet. That's why it's orbiting in the gravitational field. It ain't even orbiting. It's trapped in the gravitational field of the planet. It used to be a part of the planet. But there was a cataclysmic event that occurred on this planet with some beings from Pluto, right? And they inserted a plutonium bomb. Look it up. Plutonium is one of the main chemical elements used in producing nuclear weapons. But they placed the plutonium bomb 51 stories beneath the Earth's surface. This is how you got your Grand Canyon. The Grand Canyon, what they call in the Grand Canyon, that's the part where the Earth broke off. And see, what they don't tell y'all about the Grand Canyon is that ain't the only canyon that's there. That's just the grandest of canyons out of the canyons or the craters that happened. To the other end of the Grand Canyon, you can see that in the crater that's in the moon. That's where that crater came from. You said the more I know, the less I want to be here. You're already not here. You're externally peering through your senses from the spiritual version of the earth. And you're looking through this temporal form called your body into the third dimensional earth, right? This is what the ancient ones tried to show you. They didn't try to show you. Y'all know I'm going to draw the eye of Hiru. I got to do this all the time because we always got new people in here, right? The inner part of the eye, that's connected to the nose. This part is connected to your sense of touch. This is your taste buds. That's the tongue. The outer part of the eye is connected to your ear. And of course, the eyeball itself, that's how you see. And then the brow, which is also in association with the brow chakra, right? That represents thinking. See that? So they tell you you got 5 senses: smelling, seeing, touching, tasting, and hearing. But they don't tell you about the 6th sense, which is thinking. Because once you start thinking, you start using right thinking, your conscious mind becomes activated in the earth plane from the spirit plane or the spiritual aspects of the earth. Because just like you got a spiritual body, so does the planet. I'll say that one more time. The same way that you have a physical and a spiritual body, so does your planet. And when it comes to the planet, your average mortal, I don't care if you're the size of Victor Wembanyama or if you're the size of Mini-Me off of off of Austin Powers. You are 7.5 million times smaller than your planet. Your planet is 7.5 million times smaller than your sun. So when you're talking about the miles, the equilateral diameter of your planet, which is between 23,564 miles when your planet is breathing in, and 24,901 miles when your planet is breathing out. Listen, you're not even 1 mile long. You're not even a half a mile long. You're not even a quarter of a mile long. You're not even an eighth of a mile. You're not even a 16th of 1 mile long. You're not even a 16th of a mile long. You're not even a 32nd of a mile long. You're not even a 64th of a mile long. I don't care if you Yao Ming's height or if you Emmanuel Lewis height. It's all inclusive. You're not even 1/64th of 1 mile. So we're very minuscule on the seismic level of the galactical scale. We're not even going to talk on a universal level, right? And we have to know the significance of our place within the significance of the tapestries of our local nebula, which we belong to the Orion Nebula, which is the capital of your galaxy, which houses over 100 billion solar systems. You hear what I'm saying? And we have to put these things into context when we're processing information about the physical earth and the physical universe, which is way more expanded than your galaxy. Because your physical universe contains over 52 sextillion galaxies within the light barrier that generates the outline of the fringes of your universe. Let me put that in a less sexier way, a less intellectual way, right? 52 sextillion galaxies. I told you it's over 100 billion solar systems in your galaxy. In your universe, you got over 52 sextillion galaxies in the universe. Sextillion is 21 sets of 3 zeros. That's 21 sets of 3 zeros. That's what a sextillion. You got that many galaxies in your universe. So when people say they got a message from the universe, that's like the flea that's in the flea bath at your local vet hospital, right? You didn't want to take your dog you done took him to the local groomer, and that flea inside of there is thinking about you. And you don't even own a pet. Let's just say you never even owned a pet. And your name, let me see what your name, because I want to use that being as an example, right? I'm driving oh man, I missed all those questions. Master rule of law, right? That's what I asked that. So master rule of law, right? It's like the little flea at your local pet groomer saying, oh man, oh master rule of law, you are the all-knowing, I just love you. You done did so much shit for me, Master Ruler Law. You ain't thinking about no goddamn you're not thinking about no little flea that's about to drown in the goddamn flea bath that Rebecca Jakowski is going to take. Did she go take her the little flea on there worshiping your ass? You ain't thinking about that flea. You ain't heard nothing that flea said. It's outside the range of your auditory cortex. And I'm just using that as an example. Don't worry, y'all. I'm going to get to the rest of y'all questions. That's why I went back up in here, right? So the correlation between the woman in the moon or the woman in the planet is the woman is she's the celestial or the terrestrial gateway to the third dimension for beings that are coming from the spiritual earth, right? That's what she does. She facilitates that. And that's for the mammals. She does that for mammals. Because a lot of people don't like to hear it. But you're in a meat suit that belongs to the animal kingdom. You are a hybrid of mammals and reptilians and birds and fish and frogs. You hear me? And monkeys. Y'all might not like hearing this, but it's the truth. You are the soul for the being that was talking all that stuff about the soul, right? The soul could not incarnate here. Your soul is like an ocean of consciousness. It cannot fit in this reality. And don't worry, I'm gonna get to everybody questions, but I just don't give no little fluffy ass answer. When I get an answer, I'm giving it for clarity. That's why we had to go to illustrations on the board. Because I want you to know this. I don't want you to believe what I'm saying. I want you to know it, right? But your soul cannot fit here. That's the same way that your body, listen, cannot fit inside of Legoland. It's like you saying you're going to live in Legoland. You would crush the whole shit. So what you would have to do is go to the Lego Corporation, wherever their manufacturing plant is located, and you would have to ask them to generate a Lego version of who you are. And they say, hey, it's going to require a pinhead side of your consciousness. Can you loan us a pinhead size of your consciousness and put it in this zip drive? Here, just take this machine and hook it up to your brain, and we're going to download this much of your consciousness so it can fit into Legoland. And they make the little Lego version of you, and then they stick the consciousness in it, and then the little Lego can move around in Legoland. But the rest of you can sit back and assess that aspect of yourself. Everybody in Legoland will think that that's you, but you outside of that, the mechanism of that reality, because you can't fit inside of it. So an ocean of consciousness that you are, and I've covered this in several other videos. Y'all need to go follow me on YouTube right there, right in my same name. And I break this down extensively, right? The girl said, hi, sir, what time are we on now? Aquarius, and what does it mean? No, what time that we on right now? I don't know what time that you on, but a lot of y'all be answering y'all questions and y'all not aware of it. You are in now. Time is a man-made construct in order to attempt to measure existence. And then you going off of a kind of a man called the Caucasian, the sixth ether albino. That's not the sixth ether being. Caucasians are not sixth ether beings. They're sixth ether albinos. You follow? And then Aquarius, that's their lunar astrology. That's according to their zodiac wheel. They're telling you about their time. They're not telling you about natural time. Right? Because originally you had random access to the boundless universe. Now you just got random access to your memory, like a sixth ether being, which is the Asiatic black man, who is the Hindu. You know, Habibi, the one that talks like this. They run most of the Boost Mobile stores and shit like that. They answering the phone at the customer service. That's the Asiatic black man, right? And I don't know what you are, Kia Bulk, Eric Monchioa, right? But that's what it is when it comes down to time. Because like we covered this yesterday. Did I take it down? I did. In the spirit, every 5 minutes here is equivalent to 5 hours in the spiritual universe. The accumulation of time. Because it's based on the Earth's rotation around the sun times the measurement of the miles of your planet. That's how they are capable of equating the time, listen, that it takes for your planet to make a full rotation around your sun, right? That's conceptual time. That's not actual time. You follow what I'm saying? Are you picking up what I'm putting down? So when you start talking about Aquarius, you done went off world. The second you said, oh, what about Aquarius? And what does that mean? You wasn't clear enough for me to respond effectively. So you might want to reframe your question. And the one being said doesn't tie into the Akashic records. Yes, everything that happens in the physical dimension, it belongs to the Earth's Akashic, not your Akashic, the planet's Akashic. So your planet has an Akashic record. And you've lived tens of thousands of lives, listen, on the planet. And the planet remember all of those lives. And it's stored it in its Akashic library. You hear me? So when you get you a crystal, all you people that are in alignment with crystals and like crystals, they go a piece of pyrite. I'm going to use this pyrite as an example. You had a piece of I had a piece of pyrite in a prior lifetime, right? And that piece of pyrite that I had in the prior lifetime, that pyrite still remember me from that last lifetime. It stored all of the energetic impressions of my energetic signature on a molecular level, on a quantum level. And when I found it in this lifetime, it uploaded that full energetic impression into this lifetime. Because crystals don't die. They don't leak out and get put and go to the to the morgue and shit like your body does. They don't die. They actually are part of the earth. It's the medium because the earth can't communicate with you at the rate that the crystal can. It's too gargantuan, right? And that's speaking on the Akashic. Y'all should follow my YouTube page. I answer most of these questions in more in-depth detail. I just want to get to some more of these questions. But I don't want to forget nobody question. I think that's all the questions we have. Okay. Says, please explain a little bit more. Explain it a bit more. Okay, you're going to have to be a little bit more clear on what do I need to explain a little bit more. I'm unclear what you speak of. Are you talking about with the crystal? Okay. Yeah, so crystals, which are a part of the mineral kingdom, which are a part of the planet, right? It remembered you. Most mortals don't know this. And most of the information that I draw from comes from the Akashic of your planet, which was downloaded through the receiver, my Supreme Grand Master Teacher, Dr. Malachi Zadok York El, out of El Godesh Agadush Lohat, which is called the Holy Tablets. This planet, Akashic, was transcribed by this being, and he was the receiver of this Akashic. You follow? And the beings on this planet, it talks about this in The Living Soul. You have over 80, hold up, yeah. You get 83 million years, 83,495 years to incarnate on the physical earth. You as a soul, that's how expanded, because you are an eternal being. So when you come into the third dimension, which is a very low vibration, in order for the soul to be fulfilled with being educated and learning what it needs to learn in the third dimension, you get up to 83 million, listen, 495 million years to incarnate here. So you're going to have to keep incarnating over and over and over again until you have activated enough of your soul in this dimension to no longer desire, I took it down, but to no longer to desire returning to this dimension. You follow? You may be. That's why you're being drawn in here. In the crystal, and I'm just using the pyrite as an example, it remembered all those lifetimes. And a lot of times it don't take 83,495,000 years in order for the soul to be fulfilled on its education in this dimension. It don't take that long. That's the default setting that you automatically get extricated up out of here if you haven't done it in that time. So when you see a soul, and I'm going to use that as an example because this is a degree discernment that people that don't have random access to the boundless universe, this shit will go over your head. That's why I say I like to talk to the beginners. But if the beginners don't have no questions, I'm going to talk some shit that's over your head. So if you know you a newbie, you need to ask some newbie questions. Not you wake up. I got to just speak and get a disclaimer. So you can't use that excuse like, oh, that brother be too deep. He be talking all over my head. And they be like, yo, we sent that nigga to you. He said ask questions, you didn't. But when you see a child that's only 3 years old, and the people was shooting, they had a shootout three blocks over. The red gang versus the blue gang. Or the green gang versus the purple gang. And they were shooting at each other. And the little 3-year-old sitting in front of their TV watching Paw Patrol. And the bullet comes through the wall, right? And strikes the child in the back of the head. And the child is out of here. They be like, oh, my baby, he didn't do nothing to nobody. He's a little innocent baby. What was the probability of that bullet coming from 7 blocks over, going through a house and hitting that little child on the floor? And that little child might have had they might have had 83,494,000 years. They might only needed 2 years. They only had 2 years left on their default setting, or 3 years. And existence capitulated, it expressed itself, or it bent the reality in a way to pull that child up out of this existence because it didn't already overexhausted its time here. It then reached the end of the default setting of years that you have in this dimension. So some beings that transition up out of here prematurely, right? Not all, but most, right? That extricate from here prematurely They already reached the limit that the soul needed in order to be educated here. So certain things don't matter to certain beings. So some people will wonder, like, yo, man, you don't watch that shit. Like, nah, man, I don't give a fuck. I didn't incarnate it too many times. So certain things, I'm not impressed by it. It don't mean nothing to me. I gotta do what I do right now. Said, do freak accidents are fate? You mean are freak accidents fate? Said, do we have free will? Yes. It's not called free will. It's called will. You got concentration and focus. You are mental energy, right? You are mental energy. Out of 777,777,777 sperm cells, you made it out. That took willpower, not free will. That took willpower. You as a soul automatically has free will. A soul does what it wants to do. Listen, a soul does not have a gender. A soul does not have reproductive organs. It doesn't have a gender. It doesn't have bones. It doesn't have blood. It doesn't have muscles. It doesn't belong to this dimension. So when you guys say that the woman is God, listen, the woman is God two-dimensionally on a physical earth. But before she became a woman, she was a spirit, and it wasn't a she. Didn't become a she until you came into the physical dimension, right? You be forcing yourself. Yeah, man, don't force yourself. You say, how is there Akashic records if there's free will? Right? You don't know what the Akashic record is. The Akashic records don't have nothing to do with the free will. That's like saying, why is TikTok recording my live right now? That's what Akashic record does. Akashic is there to record what is occurring. You follow? You're looking at it from you're looking at it from a human aspect, which is pretty much you operating on an unconscious, you coming from an unconscious aspect of who you are. And like I said prior, that might have went over your head. Most people got random access to memory. They don't have random access to the boundless universe. They're not operating from that aspect of themselves. You have to get back in alignment with your original science of the Etherians, which is Nuwabu. That's a science that was engineered for 9 ether beings. And 9 ether is 9 to the 9th power of 9 ether, right? And once you start operating for who you are on an etheric level, that predates any physical terminologies. And this is why I be telling people, like, yo, you're not a gender. You don't have a gender until you come through your daddy, figuratively and literally. Then you go on the path to acquiring a gender. Do the sun got a gender? Does the sun have to take a pee? Does the sun go through a menstrual cycle? These are physical components. These are things that are equated for animals. Animals have a gender, right? I'm just giving y'all the right knowledge of it all. Yeah, these books available. Shouts out to my brother Chief Naya Shabu El. I got to check in with him. He's supposed to be printing up some more copies of this. This book over 30 years old. This didn't just come out. You hear me? It's about 30 years old now. And I've been on this shit 29 years. You'll find one online between $1,500 and $3,000. I know somebody tried to pay me $1,500 for mine, and I was like, no. But most places you look, they be wanting $2,500 for their book. Right? They be wanting $2,500 for it. Yeah. And that ain't a new book. I remember when they misprinted the book. We got any Nuwabias in here? Nuwapians? Who remember that year on the land when they misprinted the book? You remember that? You remember that, L? Was you on the land? You remember when they misprinted that book? And the doc came across the megaphone and said, hey, y'all look over there. Y'all can have all those holy tablets. You remember? Nigga, I had 2 hands full of those books. I had 2 handfuls of them books. I was passing that book out to everybody. It was a misprint. They had, man, they left out about, I want to say about 40-something pages. They left certain verses out. They was doing that shit on purpose. I remember, right? And it's weird. Here we are some odd 30 years later, and people can't even access it. But you can go to NawapianFacts.com. Shouts out to NawapianFacts.com. That's NawapianFacts.com. And you can look at the PDF version of the Holy Tablets, right? NawapianFacts.com. You will find it there, right? Or if you come into our community, yeah, that's the PDF. Or if you join the 1089 Tech community, we got a library with that in it. It's a PDF. We got 3 years of PDF stuff that we covered in the community. And you can access that and all of the books that was authored by Dr. Melakaza Duck York L. But you got to join our community first. We just don't give all that shit out to people because they want it. Right? And believe it or not, a lot of people leave the community. I ain't like, yo, what the fuck y'all leaving? They don't be ready for that shit, man. I'm telling you. That's why people leave. They like, man, I want to be on some bullshit. I don't want to know nothing. I don't want to be held accountable. Like, I'm out of here. Fuck this shit. To each his own. You feel me? I hope I answered your question, Wake Up. Did I answer your question? He said, is he from Ghana? Takoradi. No, he from Sudan. Originally he's from Sudan. Yeah, I want to say Dr. York is an original member of the Mahdi tribe. He comes out of the Mahdi tribe out of Sudan, and is a direct descendant of the Mahdi, who is a direct descendant of Mustafa El-Amin Muhammad, the Prophet Muhammad. Any other questions? And I've been to Ghana a few times. Shouts out to my people in Ghana, Aquaba. Right? I've been through Ashanti, Kumasi, and Accra. I spent the week at Ghana University. I turned Ghana University out. They called me the #1 vandal in Ghana. That's real talk. I don't know if I got anybody in here from Ghana that was there that was available when I was there at Ghana University. I bought my holy tablets with me and everything. I turned that motherfucker out. Said, is America older than Africa? That's like saying, is your left foot older than your right foot? It all belongs to the planet. You follow? I hope I answered your question. I don't know. I can't prove. I know he grew up in America. He grew up in Boston. He was made the ward of Sheikh Daoud. He wrote a book about this. It's called Dr. York, Who Are You? Go look it up. Yep, but that's my Supreme Grandmaster teacher. And shouts out to the Supreme Grandmaster teacher. May he be removed from his duress. Yeah. See, when you said America, what you got to realize is this, loved one. Because the shit be flying over y'all head. Y'all, then why they gatekeep this knowledge in this country? You're going to have to be a little bit more clearer about what you mean by they gatekeep this knowledge in this country. Because I am a gatekeeper. I am a Baruti. See that on my shirt, Baruti? I am a gatekeeper. And when if you're talking about here in the New World of North America, also known as Turtle Island, also known as Atlan or Atla or Utla, or also called Gonquia, the land of the frogs, right? If we don't gatekeep the right knowledge correctly, you have people like Rashid Jamil, who y'all call Rashad Jamal, pop up on the scene. You have people like Nature Boy 2.0 or Nature Boy who pop up on the scene. You have people like Young Pharaoh that come out. And when I say Pharaoh, he's spelling it like the Greek way Pharaoh. I'm calling that nigga Pharaoh, like something that's wild. You hear me? You have people like Brother Polite that come out. And they scam people out of millions of dollars and get y'all all caught up in who they are. And they run Ponzi schemes on y'all ass and leave you still dormant and without no information. Because all them people that I just named, none of them belong to the ancient mystic order of Melchizedek. None of them belong to the ancient Egyptian order. And none of them ever made El Magaraj. None of them have put in any sweat equity in building towards the golden city of Wahani, Tamaray, Kodesh, right? So someone has to become a gatekeeper and pat your ass down at the pylon when it comes to this information. So it doesn't corrupt you. Because too many people have been given access freely, and all it did was corrupt them, and they came out here and threw people off. He said, can you tell me a little bit more about what, you got to be a little bit more clear than that, Wake Up. I can only answer the question as clearly as you ask it. He said, are you a farmer or foreman? I'm not certain what a foreman is. I have to look that terminology up. I am a Baruti. I just told you that's what I am. And you just said, hey, are you a farmer? Are you listening to the words that are coming out of my mouth? I said I'm a Baruti being. I am a guardian of the sun, gatekeeper of the ancient knowledge and wisdom, guardian of resting places. I watch over the deceased. My moniker is Dr.RÉ. I am a master OrgoniteTEK builder, right? I build orgone pyramids, unks, and medallions. I'm a master OrgoniteTEK builder, teacher of Raynology, wielder of primordial energy. I am my ancestors' keeper. I'm an altar activation expert, and I am also a master of alignment. Right? I'm a farmer in the sense to where the students that I'm raising up, I tell them that we not, when I plant seeds in your subconscious mind, I'm not planting that seed for it to sprout out like squash. I'm planting that seed so it'll sprout out like an oak tree. We're not growing squash, we're growing oak trees. And there's 2 times in your life that you should plant an oak tree. 20 years ago and right now. He said, will we be rescued in spacecrafts? What is going to happen in regards to the earth and nine ether? Right? So that's out to let us see it now. That's right on, beloved. Keep up the great work. Yo, we not waiting on nothing, loved one. We're not waiting to be rescued. You got to rescue yourself. If you waiting on some spacecraft to come save your ass, it don't want to pick you up because you need saving. Who wants somebody on a spacecraft that's waiting on it to come there to save them and rescue them? That means that you're not fit to be on the damn craft in the first place. So that's a false awareness. And no, we're not waiting to be rescued. That's religion. That's belief. That's not taking responsibility. So what is going to happen to the earth in regards? We will take back over the earth. And when I say that, I don't mean in the way of the beast man. I mean that we are the custodians of the planet. That's why you incarnated here, wake up. You didn't incarnate here to wait on no damn spacecraft. You might as well stayed in the spiritual universe. If you was going to do that, why did you incarnate? You incarnated because when you seen what was going on from the spiritual universe, you said, I want to incarnate there and make a difference. I want to incarnate there and have a positive impact on what's going on over there. That's some bullshit. I got to incarnate again. I didn't know they was going to be doing all of that. And you wanted to be a custodian. That's the type of community of people that I'm raising, to be custodians of the planet. We're healing the ozone layer of the planet. We're healing the ley lines of the planet, the chakras of the planet. We're eradicating chemtrails, right? We're promoting life force energy, just like my sister right here in the comments. Let us see it now. You know, shouts out to let us see it now. People out here putting that orgone out here. We're becoming custodians of the planet. That's why you incarnated here. That's why the earth lets you on this motherfucker. You hear me? That's why you came here. You're like, man, I want to help. That's right, Clearview. And see, that's what we was doing in Wahani. Tamaray, Egypt of the West. We was doing that. And the federal government wasn't even really them. The Illuminati and the Luciferian network, boy, they found a way to try to make that shit in. But it was too late. It was too late. The job was completed. By the time they decided to come in there and say, oh, let's get these niggers off this land, it was too late. Mission complete. Baba had 30 years. He told y'all, I had 30 years to wake your ass up. If all you knew would be in the sound of my voice, right? He told you, he had 30 years to give you what you want so you could learn to want what he had to give. And once he gave you what he had to give, you had 30 years to do something with that knowledge and information. So 30 years from the time that he stepped off the scene, he gonna pull back up for a progress report. You hear me? I hope you've been doing something other than been waiting for him to come back home, because he never once told you to wait. Now, how you know his ass even locked up in the first place? You don't know that. You haven't got empirical data to prove that. You done heard shit, but you ain't seen shit. You hear me? You ain't seen nothing. But that's neither here nor there. Invaded, stole, conquered, and colonized. Said you've been making orgone since 2010. Okay, so have I, loved one. Right on, girl. That's right. We ain't seen nothing yet, loved one. That's what I want to hear. All right? You putting that shungite in there? And that black tourmaline? Love to you too, sister. I started following you. I'm going to check you out. I'm going to check your page out. Any other questions? Yeah, you know what time it is. Yeah, the Crystal Kingdom, your orgone brought you up in here. Like, yo, it goes somebody that's on your page. It goes somebody that's on your frequency. Right? I be making little chest plates too, sis. Like, I call this amphelite. It got amethyst, phosphosiderite, and iolite mixed in together. You know, I got real artsy with it. Then I always put a piece of sosalite in all of my medallions when I use different type of crystals, because, you know, sosalite unifies the vibrations of different crystals when they're in a tight space. Okay, you making charging discs too? Okay. Yeah, I'll be making a little bit of those sometimes. I got a couple of them. I put one in the middle of my in the middle of my mattress. He said, "Is there such thing as kryptonite?" That's right, sis. Piezoelectric. Yeah, it's something called krypton. That's one of the noble gases. That's quite Googleable. Y'all got any questions that's not that you can't that you don't have to that you could Google? Anything that you really want to know? Where my hashtag spirituality for beginners at? Yeah, there we go. The noble gas. Krypton. Yeah, that's number 36. 36 on the periodic table. That's a noble gas. For the being that asked about krypton. 3 plus 6 is 9. Right? In the movie Superman, they show you the color green. That's the color of 9 ether beings when they materialize physically. We used to be green. We started to rust and oxidize once we mixed in with the Hindus, right? But that's a whole nother story in itself. He said, when you meditate and the body puts up that last bit of resistance, how do you replace it? That's an excellent question, Shamari. You have to learn to suppress the unconscious mind. And remember, I told you this before. You don't want to, if you rushing into meditation and you think you're about to just sit down and get a 10-minute meditation and you ain't been meditating for the last 10 years, you need to take 10 minutes of silence. Observe the silence and allow the unconscious mind to allow your thoughts and your words to filter through the reservoir of your consciousness. That's the prerequisite prior to going into meditation. I put a video up on my page, and I told you that shit the other day in the text space. Start watching them videos on my page, Shamari. Watch the video on my page again. You're not being patient. You gotta be patient. See, what you gotta realize is that you haven't been meditating half of your life. So your mind is always thinking of subtle ways to not be tamed. It ain't used to being tamed. It's used to having its way with you. So there's some new shit to it. And it's like, this motherfucker really trying to tame me. Like, nigga, it's too late. And you like, nah, motherfucker, it's not too late. I'm about to tame your ass. Right? So it keep putting that resistance up. And sometimes you just have to allow it to go through its progressions. You know, no one is perfect. Even me. I'm not gonna say that I'm perfect. I got certain things that I struggle with all the damn time. But once I start seeing I'm wrestling with it, I'd be like, fuck that shit. I turn into Neo in the Matrix. Remember when Neo was fighting Agent Smith? And that nigga gave up? He was like, yo, what the fuck am I doing? Let me just stop. And then you let him stick his hand into him. He was like, is it over? He was like, yeah. He was like, it's over. And then it wasn't over. It started over again on his ass. You got to do that with your mind. Because the mind doesn't like to be observed. He said everything was still and started to go black. And then I felt a wave of resistance out of nowhere. Said explain quarks up and down. You're going to have to be a little bit more clear about that. What do you want? What is your question about quarks? Don't come in here trying to see what I know. Don't do that. Just tell me what you want to know. Ask your question. Go ahead, star 22. I got you. Why they put numerology on this ritual, rituals and movies? Said why they put numerology on the rituals and movies. I don't know who they are. You're gonna have to be a little bit more clear with your questions. When you guys ask questions, I can only respond to you as clearly as you ask the question. Please don't ask me what do I think, what do I know, and what do I feel. Ask your question. Ask your question. That way I can respond to you effectively. I got random access to the boundless universe, not just random access to my memory. Right? I'm just not operating from RAM. So y'all got to be clear about the questions that you ask. Got to be a little bit more clear than that. You got to realize when you're watching cinema, in order for the Luciferians to rule over you, they have to show you the truth. I'll say that one more time. In order for the Luciferians to rule over you, they have to present the truth before you. They put it through the medium of what you call cinema. And the reason why they put it through the medium of cinema is because they know you're going to think that it's just entertainment and that it's not for real. And that medium that they use for their cinema is called television. And it's telling lies to your vision. And you think because it's telling lies to your vision that it's telling you a lie. But it could be telling you the truth while still telling lies to your vision. You follow? And that's the only way that they can rule over you. They have to present the truth to you. They don't have to tell you the truth. They just have to present it to you. And it's up to you to have the discernment to see what the truth is. I hope that answers your question based on how you asked it. And for the being that asked about the quarks up and down, and what are they? Quarks is that's a field in reality that predates matter. I'll say that one more time. The quarks realm, right, is a part of what they're referring to as the quantum realm. That's taking you into subatomic particles. Sub meaning less or under the atom. And when you remove the protons out the atom, you go into a plasmatic state, which is also called the etheric state. That's the etheric realm, right? They call that ether or gas, but it's certain tiers within the spectrum of that. The most densest and the lightest on the path of what they're referring to is nothing is called quarks, because it doesn't register and doesn't register as some thing. It's sub thing. You follow that? It's below a thing. It doesn't even exist. But it doesn't exist on a physical scale. You follow that? That's for the being that asks about quarks. Now you got you got realms that predate that state as well. But through each of these states, you got 99 subatomic things that deduce in density going to those states. And in order for you to observe it, you cannot be connected to the physical state in order to do that. In order to get that access, you had to grow beyond the random access memory. You had to grow beyond random access to the boundless universe. And you had to start functioning from the random access divinity, random access to your divinity. But you're going to have your Barrowthy gland reinserted in order to do that from this dense capacity. And that's when you're 100% Ethereum, not 9 Ethereum. Right now, you're only boasting with 9 ether. But at one point, you was 100% ether. And you've dropped in density in order to acquire a body. Right? I hope you're picking up what I'm putting down, because I'm doing my best to answer your question based on how you presented the question to me, which was quite incomplete. When they split the atom, they found these particles. No, not when they split the atom. When you split an atom, you cause an atomic explosion. What they did is they removed the protons, and they didn't do that. The sun does it itself, right? That's how it perpetually fuels itself. At 1 in 1,000 trillion degrees temperature and 100 trillion tons of pressure, that's what it takes in order to burn the protons out of a hydrogen atom, not the helium atom. When you do that out of a hydrogen atom, it creates what you refer to as cosmic plasma. When you do that off of a helium, it creates solar plasma. And it gives these solar waves or these solar winds. You call them solar mass ejections. And that is an ion. That's when you start talking about ions. And they get trapped in the ionosphere of your planet, which is within the thresholds of the electromagnetic field of your planet. That's why the electromagnetic field exists. Because ions move very fast, almost faster than the speed of light. And if you didn't have an electromagnetic field, that sunlight that you call in sunlight, which takes 8 minutes and 20 seconds to hit the optical nerve in your eye, so you actually perceiving this reality on an 8-minute and 20-second delay. And that's segueing back to the being that was asking about time and are we in Aquarius and all of this. Y'all not, and I don't blame you. I'm just saying a lot of y'all need a teacher. You need a guide. A lot of people need a teacher. You need a guide. You need an instructor. You need a mentor. You might not think, I'm 40-something years old. I don't need nobody to tell me nothing. But these things have to be addressed. We got any other questions out there? You think I'd be spitting it like this if I didn't have a teacher? I told y'all I spent 7 years being corrected. People correct the shit out of me. Shouts out to Baba. Baba RBK. I don't know if you're still in there, Baba. Baba met me in my neophytes. I wasn't even a neophyte. Right? I was just reading in. Baba, you in there? He done left out. But he'll tell you. He was there in my humble beginnings almost 30 years ago. He used to correct me too. Any other questions? I'm telling you, I can take your questions on. I can only respond and answer the question as clear as you ask the question. It's analogous to a person in Atlanta that never been to Atlanta before. And you meet me on Memorial Drive. Excuse me, you meet me on Moreland in 285. Right? At the Foxy Lady. And you say, damn, man, hey, I'm trying to get to Memorial Drive. I go, shit, Memorial Drive down the street. But then I say, hold on a second, man, which part of Memorial Drive? Oh, I'm trying to get to Memorial Drive in Stone Mountain. And I'll be like, okay, well, don't just go down the street. You need to get on the freeway right here. Take 285 around to Memorial Drive. Just keep following around the circle. You're going to pass the 20. When you see the 20, don't get off on the 20. Stay on the 285. You're going to see a whole bunch of people getting off and stuff. Don't do that. You know what I mean? Don't do that. Keep going past the 20, and then you're going to see Memorial Drive. And you can come up right there. And then when you come up at Memorial Drive, make a right. You hear me? And I'm using that as an example to ask questions. She said, I lived in Atlanta. The Foxy Lady. He sounds like a place for shoe models. Yes, exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. Right? And if you lived in Atlanta, you know about the Foxy Lady. That's all good. I'm a man. I'm not a half of a Zesty or a half of a FAG. I'm going to say what you did. But that's neither here nor there. Peace of love, Keith. What's up, Keith Sweat? Keith Sweat in the building. What's going on, loved one? A AAA Academy brother. Any other questions? Put that up there. All you got to do is purchase something off the website. I want to say I had one sister that ordered a pop socket. I tried to reach out to you, sister, so I could add you into the group. And I wasn't able to contact you. Same thing with Samit. Samit Gokeb. I don't know if that's a number in the Netherlands. If that's is that a number in the Netherlands? Yeah, that's some type of number in. I don't know how to reach you in the Netherlands, but I will send you. He ain't put an oh, he did put an email. That's a weird ass email address too. Yeah. But I will man, I don't know how to reach out to him. And that ain't his first time ordering something. I didn't talk to you before too, Samit. I got to figure out how to communicate with the people in the Netherlands. That show you all how far the reach go. Said I met someone who bought tech on Threads. Hmm. What was their name? I don't know them. Like, I don't know. I sell a lot of tech, so y'all know I call my OrgoniteTEK. Go to the website, 1089techvision.com. Come join us in Atlanta. We will be having an event March the 7th and the 8th. The one on the March the 7th, we will be going over Raynology 102. And on Sunday, March 8th, we'll be going over the science of the Netaru. And we're going into Het Hiru, right? That's going to be the new thing for the next couple of years. Is Het Hiru. We already then dealt with Sekhmet, and after we go through the Lionsgate portal for this year, that will be a wrap on Sekhmet, right? We'll do a Sekhmet webinar as well. I think we'll do the Sekhmet webinar in April or May, right? April or May. We will be running those webinars and bringing a close in the Sekhmet so that we can go into Het Hiru, right? And we'll be, after we go through the progressions of Het Hiru and the science of the Netaru, we'll be bringing people into Raynology 103, right? That's all for 2027 and 2028. I need my people from England. I think I got a sister that's coming from the UK. I don't know if you coming or not, but if you come out to the seminar next month, I'm going to sit down with you, and we're going to, because I got a set up for the UK. Right? I got a couple of constituents over there as well, but I'm gonna have a few point of contacts. But we do plan on going to the UK next year, right? I might have to take a trip over there first. I do want to do that. Go over to the UK, check it out, and do some recon on the landscape. Time to get out, start hitting everybody across the world. Said you in the UK? Okay, right on. We coming. We working our way on over there. Yes, of course. Said, do you teach the Mandela of Dendeta or the Tenteta? Yeah, I do. If you're receptive to that, I could go there. Like I said, I've been on this 29 years. Remember, we was dealing with solar biology yesterday, right? That was presented by Hotep Tar. We deal with solar biology, not lunar astrology. You know, and yeah, I did. We went through this yesterday. You was in the live yesterday, right? And I went over, you know, they call this Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Leo. I'll be forgetting the damn what's his names now. Virgo, Libra, and Scorpio, right? On the Dendita, this is Shu, or the Tentita. You know, they always try to switch the letters and switch the vowels around. So if you're an Aquarius or if you are a Sagittarius, you really a Shu. Shu is the being that lords over that that locality of the sky. Next, you have Auset. That's for the Capricorns, Hathor for the Aquarius, Amun for the Pisces, Asar for the Aries, Mut is for the Taurus, Anubu is Gemini, Tahuti is Cancer, Haru is for the Leos, Ptah is for the Virgos, Sekhmet is for Libras, and Baruti is for those that are born in November, right? So when I be showing y'all Baruti, that's the alignment. I'm not just making shit up. This shit was all. Shouts out to that. I don't know if you're a brother or sister, but shouts out to that being for asking about that. I even got a video on my page talking about the Mandela of the Tenteta, level 69. Said, why did you start with Shu? It wasn't no. It was insignificance why I started with Shu. I was just writing them down. I was out of my random access memory. I was just writing them down. It wasn't nothing. It ain't deep. Don't look into that. It's not that deep. I ended with the Baruti. You know what I mean? I am a Baruti being. The character alterer. Beings that are character alterers have the ability to mimic others. We could also we can Xerox copy people's intellect and their characteristics, amongst other things. Yeah, shapeshifters as well. We have the ability to shapeshift, right? It's like the dude on the X-Men, or like Mystique on X-Men, how she could turn and look like somebody else. It's not to that degree. So it's like I could get around a bunch of people from Ethiopia or Somalia, and I start acting like them. And people be like, damn, you from Somalia? I'd be like, nah. But sometimes they won't even ask. They'll just assume I'm from Somalia because I'm around Somalian people. All right. Some people will assume that I'm from whatever city or state that I'm in because I automatically adjust and shift, and I start using their cadence without even trying. I don't have to try it. It's natural. All right, we're at 24%. I'm gonna give you guys a little bit more. Any more questions? All my subscribers, shouts out to my subscribers. Y'all get access to the full live. If you subscribe to this page, you do get access to the full live. And if you haven't subscribed, you would just have to wait for me to put up the little videos. Some people are like, yo, man, why you just be putting up little 2-minute videos? People got short attention spans. If I put up a 20-minute video, they ain't gonna watch that shit. And TikTok only lets you go up to 10 minutes. So this will end up on the YouTube. I got over 70 videos, long formatted videos from these lives on the YouTube. So if you haven't followed me on YouTube, follow me on the YouTube now. Right? It do take me some time to edit these videos down and stuff like that. And I will. And we'll end up getting it out to you. Come join us in Atlanta. Because the stuff that I talk about in seminar and in these events, I don't talk about none of that stuff on the social media. See, why did they take God aspect out of the New Age version of astrology? I don't know what you mean by that. Who is they? Got to be a little bit more clearer, LB 6969. Because when you say the word God, y'all know, for those that know, I'm going to say John Wycliffe. All right? I'm going to bring up John Wycliffe. Because John Wycliffe is the being that came up with the concept and the meaning of the word God. So that's going to take you back to the 6th century after Dominion, right? Yeah, that's an acronym for English term. But that came from a Germanic term or from a Gothic term, from a deity that they had called Gog, G-O-G, right? From the Czech Republic, that's Eastern European. That go back to the 6th century. And John Wycliffe, he spoke about 5 or 6 different dialects or languages. And there was never no definitive name for the creator. When you look up the word Yahweh, yeah, Gog and Magog, that's right. And it wasn't no definitive word. When you say Yahweh, it's just, that's good. Yah is good. Way is evil. Good and evil. That doesn't give you the meaning of Yahweh. It's just telling you what it means. But it's not telling you that that's the creator. Just like the word El, right? El doesn't tell you nothing. Source. Elo, being. Elohim, these beings. That's still lofty and ambiguous. It's not definitive and descriptive. You hear me? Adonai, a master. That doesn't speak to the creator. With the ancient Egyptians, for lack of a better word, just saying that, they said Amun, right? The hidden one. The creator is hidden. Then they said Amunet. The hidden one is mysterious. Then they said Atum. The hidden one is unindifferentiated, meaning that it's not predetermined who this is. It's still happening. Then they got to Atum, which means, oh, complete one, right? Then it got to Atun, where they got Aten, because it reached its highest point, right? And that is the unique one. And for what we overstand in this physical dimension, on the physical earth, our source is the sun. That's the best that you can capitulate to the expression of the personification of what people modernly refer to as the Most High. That is your version of the Most High, is the sun. You can't even touch the sun. You hear me? And I'm just talking in a practical, rational sense. I don't like to take people into spooky zones of consciousness. But I always got to say these things when people bring up that word God, right? But you got to be a little bit more clearer about your question so I could respond to it effectively. Because they stole everything out the Happy Nile Valley, out the land of Amun Ra. All knowledge and religions come from there. That's right. But it's really Ray, sis. They say Ra, but it's Ray. Right? They say Ra. They always play a flip-flop with the vowels and the consonants to try to hide who we are. But we will have clarity. But you right though, sis. You right. Let us see it now. Shouts out to Yo-Yo. Thank you for the hearts, loved one. I appreciate that. You too, Sunshine. I appreciate that, beloved. It's 111. Hold on, you guys. Got to call out the 99 Netaru. Abdul Kutafalat. Wabazun be Bamu El Karoon. Who partner to that? Minu Nut Sheu Kawun got Ilabihu. Dr.RÉ. Nunet. He het. Kek ki kek amun amunet. Atum, Shu, Tepnut, Geb, Nut, Oset, Osaru, Neptet, Satuk, Haru, Happy, Anquinanti, Nefertum, Mantu, Bepti, Sekmet, Het, Har, Best, Pata, Bas, Am, Hotep, Hu, Mihurt, Kepri, Meskahenit, Riat, Kintamintu, Ika, Neef, Mayat, Renintat, Shah, Sishat, Mapdat, Sobek, Anubu, Kanum, Kansu, Tanin, Sia, Hikat, Amsu, Sarapi, Atum-Re, Tahuti, Taret, Selkat, Ha, Nehebka, Sokar, Bait, Akir, Anihirit, Wapwawit, Seacat, Hetat, Morezgir, Sia, Gatit, Astinu, Bahutit, Kniptet, Minket, Him, Madudi, Kabasinu, Duamutat, Merit, Ura, Edrin, Kabit, Seacat, Anukat, Jet, Tim, Ua, Uis, Anku, Ahnuit, Sati, Sekti, Imta, Ninna, Emuet, Mseti, Himamu, Reshev, and Mary, Amun Re. For the sake of all, Kawu Right. All right, y'all. Back at it. Any more questions? Any more questions? Let me go back. I'm scrolling back to see if I missed a question. He said, hey, what's the prayer? You want to hear a prayer? That's not a prayer, beloved. That's calling out the 99 Netaru. The 99 Netaru are in correlation with the 99 elements on the periodic table. But here's a prayer that I say every day. Ya Nitiru. Ani alibu maluj bin min wagig wa esbiwi wa. Ani alibu. Malajuk min wagushil gawu. Wa kasulis wa ani alibu. Malajuk min kawun kanug bi itun wa el dahusin shil shot. La ali wahida. Ya netru. Wa nibuuk. Kupwini. Ma'adek ashizu ganomu. Laya sawuni. Gau. Min shiizu mamnu. Wa ma'ana amuk. Sunubni. Badun min awu shiyo shiizu ma. Radui bien. Ya netrui. Wa nibu'u. Kashula kafuz alani. Istra anawat ashani. Ma ergawuf layazawu. Wa yagusni. Wa ajusni istras. Wa ien aralhum alani. Ent ata bewani. Alani. Alani. Ent ata bewani. Ba ajusni nasrua. Haminu zafu. Shi hum rabifua. Laya zawun kawun el hagat jihati aireu. Okay? Ya netrui. La tagubni. Iza ani nasu or sanub galotun. Netrui. Azun. Si kawushat. Li azun si kawushat. Laya aku shalut shilni. Sanubni. Kasuwa mamumu. Shilnapun himu ila ent. Wabasu nuwabu. Right? That's out the gold book. This is the golden book, the sacred records of Tamaray. Right? This is the land of Tamaray. And this is one of the prayers that you say every day. Says so right here. Right? Supplication to say every day. Istabala. Laya natug ju yawum. Right? That's the language. Ya neturu. Ani alibu. Maluj fient min magig wa as bui wa ani alibu. Malajug min wa gushil gawuf wa kasulis wa ani alibu. Malajug min kawun kanug. Bi'ithun wa el da Hussein shil inosai. Right? That says, "O guardians, I seek refuge in you from anxiety and grief." Right? And I seek your refuge from lack of strength and laziness. And I seek your refuge from being overpowered by death and the oppression of mortals. Giving you the English translation. O heavenly ones, O guardians in your Nebu. That means guardian. Suffice me with that which is lawful, to keep me away from what is prohibited. And with your grace, make me free from want of what is not approved by you. Oh, my guardians, if I should forget and make a mistake, please don't impose on me afflictions which I have no strength to bear, and pardon me, and grant me protection, and have mercy on me. Right? I'm trying to say what he's saying, okay. And have mercy on me. See that? You are my patron. So grant me victory over those who conceal what they know to be the truth beyond any doubt. I say this prayer every day. But this is the prayer for the sister that asks, right? This is a prayer. This is different from what I was just saying. Oh, my guardians, do not punish me if I forget or make a mistake. My guardians, do not lay on me a burden for allowing my mortal instincts to take control of me, making me lazy and neglectful of giving praise to you and spreading Nuwabu. I say that every day. Every day I say that prayer. I got to. That start off my day and keeps me grounded, keeps me in a practical, rational state of being. And prayer is highly essential to have in your life. And I always say that prayer after I finish making my Ashatat, which is the prayer system of the new Abiyas. Been doing that well over 25 years now. Yeah, they got the Golden Book too. That's available on Amazon. They got a whole bunch of different places. Right? It's available. That's the Gold Book, the Sacred Records of Dr.RÉ. This book has a lot of prayers in it. Right? And it's written in our ancient language. That's what I was getting on that one being. That was on YouTube. And tried to say that I belong to a cult. And I said, no, I have culture. Every time it comes to a nigga doing something outside of what the hunky wants you to do, they say that you a cult. Until you start speaking in a language that they don't understand. When you start talking in your own language, that's when they get intimidated because they don't know they don't have record of that shit. Just like the word Baruti. When you look up Baruti, Google Baruti and watch how pop up. Google Paruti. I'm the only thing that's gonna pop up. Put Dr.RÉ in their thing. I'm the only thing that's gonna pop up. When you put 1089 TV in your Google chat, your Bing, your DuckDuckGo, I'm gonna pop up. When you put Raynology in there, only I'm gonna pop up. You hear me? I'm outside the range of their paradigm. And I got a book called Paruti Paradigm where I talk about we going into a new paradigm, man. And my Supreme Grand Master teacher set the tone for this type of stuff. Right? He had 30 years to give us this. And we got 30 years to express it and articulate it out into the planet. And then we'll be assessed after our 30 years. And I've been teaching the last 14 years, saving souls. And not saving souls from nobody other than their own self. Anybody else? Any other questions? Before we get on up out of here? My battery count getting kind of low. It's called the Gold Book. Just look up the Gold Book. The Sacred Records of Dr.RÉ. But just look up the Gold Book. And you will see it. No, but I don't know if that's what you was talking about. I said these names up here, Rudy. Yeah, you can't Google that. It ain't gonna show up. Let me see. This is the Sacred Records of Dr.RÉ. The Sacred Tablets of Dr.RÉ. I don't know if that might pop up, but you could just put the Gold Book in there. The Gold Book. Put the Gold Book, beloved. Because you might pull that up and it don't show it. It might show it. I don't know. But this is called the Gold Book, the Sacred Records, or the Sacred Tablets of Dr.RÉ. And I just love the prayers in here. I love to read the prayers. You know, I'll read them in English. And then after I read it in English, and I get it down packed in English, then I just start saying it in the Wapi. That way I know exactly what I'm saying in the Wapi. In Baruf. I know you don't, but that's neither here nor there. Then I had this other one I say. This is the supplication of the morning. I have a supplication, the supplication of the morning in English. I'm going to read it in English for you guys. Oh, my guardians, I offer you all the thoughts, words, and actions of today for the honor of thy holy names. O Mut or Mut of the guardians, ask thy divine son Amen that I may not offend him this day. And O heavenly parents, I firmly accept the sacred truths which Nuwabu teaches, because thou hast revealed them. And I do accept your words, for you can never deceive nor be deceived. O my guardians, relying on your infinite goodness, your power and promises, I hope to obtain the pardon of my sins, the assistance of thy grace, and life everlasting through the merits of my obedience. O guardians, I love thee above all things with my whole heart and soul, purely because you are infinitely perfect and deserving of all love. I love also my neighbors as myself for the love of you. I forgive all who have injured me, and I ask pardon of all whom I have injured. O my guardians, I am heartily sorry for having offended thee, and I detest all of my sins, because they incur your just punishment. But most of all, because they offend you. O heavenly ones, who are all good and deserving of all my love, I firmly resolve with the help of thy grace to confess my sins, to repent and to amend my life. Atunre, Atunre, and Amunre. Right? And those are two prayers. I say those prayers every day. They keep me grounded. They keep me centered. And unfortunately, it keep me gaslighted. And when the people begin to gaslight me, I'm like, the people that end up gaslighting me, it kind of perplexed me because I know they didn't wake up and say no prayer that morning. I know they didn't. I could tell when they sit down before a meal and don't even pray before they meal. Most people don't even pray before they meal. They just start eating. Right? Most people just start eating. They don't have no sense of gratitude, but they're quick to castigate you or judge you or insult you. or disrespect you. And I still have to forgive them anyway. They don't know what they do. Most mortals function on an animalistic level. They're not even on a spiritual level. And I'm here to raise people up. You can fight it and resist it to your own detriment. But for those that do seek guidance and that do want to be brought up to a higher level of understanding of who they are, that's who I'm here for. All you have to do is purchase something from the website, primarily something Orgon. Because people that mess with dark magic and demonic forces, they don't like Orgon. And that's my test. That's my pat down to your ass. Said it's the 42 laws of Mayat in one of those books. Listen what I'm saying, Shanghai Lori. 42 laws of Mayat is a book. It's not a book. It's just the 42 laws of Mayat. It don't need to be put in a book. It's its own thing all by itself. You follow? When you talk about the 42 laws of Mayat, it's just the 42 laws of Mayat. It doesn't belong in a book. It already stands as its own, guiding map to our behavior and how we should be, conducting ourselves. Now, there's a book that is inspired by the 42 laws of Mayat called the Book of Ptah-hotep. It was the first first book to be recorded out of the Happy Nile Valley. There's an audio version that is available on the YouTube. Y'all need to check that out. That only follow one law, and that is love. Okay, I hear you. I follow one law, and that's divine love. All right? Love is the lower residue of divine love. And that's something that you can't capitulate in this form. When people come into contact or in the proximity of divine love, they automatically pervert it. But that's neither here nor there. Any other questions? Any other questions? I'm looking for your questions. Do you got a question? Yeah. Atlanta, you guys, March the 7th, Raynology 102. March the 8th, Science of the Neteru. You can purchase tickets to both events. And I must say, only for the VIP. VIP people can ask as many questions as they want to. If you're not VIP, please let the people that got VIP tickets to ask their questions. And then you get your chance. Also, anybody that purchased a ticket for either day or either event or both events, you will be able to join us on March the 6th. I'm going to call that a day with Dr.RÉ. Come and ground with us. I'm going to show you the techniques of Ashitat, how to breathe in the sunlight effectively, how to get those, to breathe it in to your chakra points, how to sun gaze with your first eye. You follow? And he said, I got you on transportation. He said, I got to drive there anyway. That's like a 16-hour drive for me. Really longer than that. But, I'm not giving out the location until we almost there, right? But we will gather in the park on that Friday. Come join us. Also, we will end up at, we're going to go to the Jeju Spa. It is $40 to get into that. I got to get that heads up. And make certain that you do have your ID. If you don't have an ID, they're going to charge you $100 plus the $40. So make sure y'all have your ID. We're going to go into the crystal igloos that they got there. They got a room that's made out of all Himalayan salt. below 115 degrees, get the sweat out all the toxins and the impurities that you may have acquired through the course of your lifetime for the first time. And when you leave this place, listen to what I'm telling you. It feels like you took a permanent bath. And that feeling stays on you for about 7 days. You be like, damn, I feel clean as a motherfucker. You go outside, you can feel the filth in the air. When you wash your hands outside of that place, you can feel the filth in the water. You can feel the grime and the nastiness in the water. Even in the water that you drinking. You like, this is clean water. That shit don't make, it sets the barometer on cleanliness. So why do we sell salvation? I don't know what you mean by that. You're going to have to be a little bit more clear or wake up. I'm not selling salvation if that's what you're implying. Have you ever been to college before? Wake up. When you go to college and they charge you for that felonious education that they give you to indoctrinate them in your discipline and obedience to their suggestions, they charge you thousands of dollars, right, for those certifications. Do they not? Some people spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on college, graduate from college, and can't get a job in their field. You hear me? I'm trying to get what you're saying, because these events do cost. It costs to come there. The place where I'm holding this event, they're not saying, yo, man, just do it for free. No, they charging my ass to be there. I had to put my credit cards on file for that shit. You hear me? And I bet I had too many people up in there. They like, man, shit costs money. That's the way that the world is set up, loved one. I don't know how old you are, but that's the way of the world. Everything costs. The whole thing is it worth the value of its costs? That's the whole thing. Right? And the people that know me and the people that love me, they tell me like, yo, man, they think I'll be cutting y'all too much of a break. They said I need to start pricing people out and keep me away from that broke energy that some people have. But shit costs money. You know what I'm saying? It do. And you get way worth more than your than its value in gold. If you measure what I give to people in gold, you couldn't probably even talk to me. You know, when this book first came out right here, see it? It was $25. Right now, this shit anywhere between $100 and $1,000. This book right here, right? And be careful about them links that y'all find online when they try to sell you these books and they take your money. I don't tell people to buy this because they're not printing it up. Same thing with the holy tablets, right? When I got this book, initially I paid $50. But when they revised it and made this copy, I paid $75 for this. Right now, this book is $2,500 online. You hear me? And it's worth every cent. I done had several people try to drop $1,500 on me for this book, and I turned them away. Said, no, I'm not selling my book. Right? Yeah, that's the prayer book. Yeah, 425 pages. This book right here, the Holy Tablets, got almost 1,500 pages. It got more than 1,500 pages. It's about 1,500 pages in this book. Right? But look at the information that's in here. You're going to pay $1,500. They charging you $1 a page. That's showing you the inner mappings of Shambhala and Agathar on the inner world. And that's talking about the underworld. People don't know this information. So you can always ask for donations. No, I don't ask for donations. I don't. But people do make donations to me. But I don't ask for that. I got stuff that I sell. I sell my gear. You must ain't went to my website, beloved. But I got polos. I got t-shirts. I got hats that I sell. I sell my orgone devices. I sell my oil. Right? My stuff sells already. I already got a community. We got over 200 people in our community. And most of those people have been with me for more than a year. And all of them are repeat buyers. They all getting results from the stuff that I put out there. They all purchasing the ancestor money that I provide. They all receiving results from that ancestor money when they burn it for their ancestors too. Like I said in previous videos, you just on the outside looking in and you wondering like, damn, he should just give this shit to me. And you might not be worthy to receive things at a free rate. You haven't done enough in your life to receive something for nothing. And most mortals on this planet want something for nothing. And in antiquity, we used to have, because people don't be worthy of having that information, that degree of information a lot of times. They might want that information, but they may not be worthy of having it. You know what I mean? It's like giving pearls to swine, as they'll say. And you can't give pearls to swine. And it's worth its weight in gold, what people are receiving. And in antiquity, they used to give you a test to see if you was worthy of even being initiated. And most beings weren't. That's what caused the Mesopotamians to come into the land of Amun-Ra, and they would squat on the land. They squatted there so long. So I really appreciate your knowledge. You are helping me better myself. You're welcome, beloved. Now, Ray, let's be honest for the wake up being, because this is your first time here. I done gave out over 2,086 uploads right now on my page. Would you say what I given out to you for free? Right? Have I asked you for anything? Right? I just sat here for 5 hours and did a full presentation, a full seminar. Just gave y'all a full seminar for nothing. I didn't ask you for a fucking slug. And you just learned more, wake up, than you done learn. You just learned more in 5 hours than you done learned in the last 5 years. You can't say that you haven't. Now, if you go to a Tony Robbins seminar, shouts out to Tony Robbins, he gonna talk to you for 4 hours. You can't ask him no question. And you can sit in the back of his seminar for $7,500. And if you want to sit up front so you can hear him a little bit better, he gonna he gonna charge your ass $11,000. Some people never even touched $11,000 in their hand, and it don't be a seat in his fucking events. And he not selling salvation, and neither am I. You hear me? But you got to realize that, baby girl or boy, I don't know what you is. Shit costs money. I don't know if you a child or shit costs money, beloved. It's not nothing is free. Ever since you told me to switch offerings from every 10 days to every day, I noticed changes real quick. Right on. Okay, now 669, right? Did I charge you for that information? Did I charge you to tell you that? And I ain't trying to offend you, Wake Up, but you not being vivid enough about what you were saying about that. And I felt like you was trying to offend me. Like, why people always trying to sell salvation? I'm like, what the fuck that's supposed to mean? The fuck that shit come from? Yeah. Like I said, I give out way more than enough information. I can't give y'all every goddamn thing. People want your damn soul almost. Like, give me everything. Just give it to me. It's like, you don't be worthy, man. Imagine if I start doing live just for subscribers. Then that's what I'm going to start doing. I'm going to just start going. People going to have to subscribe. And if you don't subscribe, you ain't going to get to hear none of the information. He said, yeah. He said, before I had a reading that it said I needed to go deeper, and then you popped up with that info. Yeah, man. I told y'all I'm a master of alignment for one thing. And another thing, I am a guardian of resting places. I am my ancestors' keeper, especially for the people here in the New World of North America, because we don't have no spiritual system. Well, I do. And I show people how to apply this system into their life. But you're not just going to squander what the fuck I show. Most people want to connect to Baphomet, pentagrams, and hexagrams. And I put them through a vetting process before I even give them all the edicts. That way, if you bullshitting with it, you going to be held accountable for it. Not me. You will be held accountable for that shit. Because you can't say that you haven't been told. But I'm not selling salvation. He said, is there a such thing as star seeds? Yes. I mean, that's the terminology. Stars, just another sexy way of saying soul. Soul is the Latin word for the sun. And you're a particle of the sun, and you were seated here in this dimension. Star seed. Shouts out to DJ Lemon Line. Any other questions? My other phone. Oh, there it is. Yeah. Thank you, loved one. I appreciate that. I just carry my fair portion. That's all I'm here to do is carry my fair portion. You know, I was prompted to come on here to set the record straight because it's a whole bunch of, woke ass people that be using not the terminology nine ether. People use the word overstand. They don't have no overstanding, and they don't have no right knowledge behind their use of the word nine ether. They don't even know what these terminologies, who coined them, and the sweat equity that was put into all of this. They have no clue. I see people with nine ether on their name all the time. And when I listen to them for about 2 or 3 minutes, I don't hear no right knowledge, no right thinking, no right overstanding coming out of their mouth. I don't. So there could be souls from different star systems that appear on Earth. Yes. I was talking about the Anunnaki, right? which means those that knew sent the key on crafts in groups of 50. Right? Uh-oh. They're making me prove I ain't a robot. Hold on. All the beings from Aduma, none of them originated here. Oh, you know, all of them came from different star systems. Same thing with the beings that live in the center of your planet. All of them came from other star systems as well. In fact, most of the marine life in your water came from another planet. Some of them came from other star constellations as well. Because when your planet was hit with a plutonium bomb, the Galactical Council had to petition to bring water to your planet. Most of the water on the planet right now did not come from here. Most of the marine life didn't come from here. It had to be planted here. Hence the terminology planet. You follow? So things had to be planted here. At the Kingu, curse him, the Luciferian, who planted a plutonium bomb 51 levels below the surface and set it on a timer detonator to explode. That's how you got your moon. I was talking about that earlier, right? And the heat signature from the magma of that explosion, it dried up all of the water and pushed the mud up onto the land. That's how you got these mountain ranges. And to put everything in context with people, it used to be pyramids on this side of the planet as well. It was pyramids across that full ley line. But they didn't want to let the Plutonians have any rulership on this planet. And he was pissed about that. He was pissed because they wouldn't let him rule over them. Like, bitch, you're not even from here. We're not about to just let somebody else from somewhere else come and rule over us. Better take your bitch ass back to Pluto. Why you think Pluto don't orbit around the sun like the rest of the planets? That was a punishment. This shit go real deep, y'all. You know what I'm saying? This shit go real deep. That's why I be saying I keep it real simple for people. I say, yo, study the physical anatomy. People be like, yo, what book should I start reading? I like, yo, start with your body. Learn about who you are first on a physical level. Right? Learn who you are. Pull back those layers. Stop trying to connect to some ambiguous, spooky force that you never seen and connect to your progenitors. That's your mother and father that they passed on. That's the type of spiritual connections you should be trying to make. Connect to that. I don't even tell people to connect to the Netaru. The Netaru tell me to tell you don't connect with them. They say, man, tell that motherfucker to get up with their grandmama. They need to connect to that first. So do you have any biology book recommendation? Yeah, it's called Google. DJ Living Line. You got to go to Google. That's the most inexpensive one that you can use. That's what I use. Shit, they got Chat GPT now. And I forgot the one for the Microsoft. I use a Copilot. You can use that, man. That shit very helpful with breaking the body down for you. Watch what start opening up when you do that. When you start doing that, watch what occur. Like I said, I ain't heard a lot of y'all. And I ain't gonna twist your arm off and try to overconvince you. But watch what start happening when you start tapping into the physical anatomy. You're gonna get more results than that from doing that than even picking, I don't want to say picking up the holy tablets, because even in the holy tablets, it start breaking down the body. Look at that. That's in the living soul. It's showing you the embryo. It's showing you the oval. It's showing you DNA. It talk about the body. This is where I got that from, you guys. Like, yo, this is what y'all getting is a lot of the stuff that I've already covered, or everything that I surmise from years of studying this book. Right? DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid. But you got to study the physical dimensions of who you are. See that? That's showing the hippocampus area of the brain. That's the light in the spiritual spinal column. The chakras. Y'all don't know I'm always talking about the chakras. You know, the brain cut in half to show the location of the pineal gland. This is El Gadush Lohat, the holy tablets. The DNA strand, do we see that in our eyes when we look into the sky? I don't know what you see when you look through your eyes. You might be reaching with that statement though, to be honest with you. Because again, when you're looking through your focal points called your peripheral vision, it takes 8 minutes and 20 seconds for you to see natural sunlight. So we actually receiving the light in this dimension. No, there is no link to purchase that book, but you could look it up. El's Holy Tablet is the name of it. You came in here real late. El's Holy Tablet. Man, I'm about to run out of battery, you guys. Hold on. Let me grab my phone charger. Yeah, El's Holy Tablets, NawapianFacts.com. You can see a PDF version of that book. And I'm not certain if you have the necessary storage space to download a file that large. But people are selling a copy of their holy tablets online right now. And they range anywhere between $1,500 and $2,500 a book. Y'all late in the game. A lot of y'all mamas and daddies, they seen that book when it was $75 years ago. Oh man, I don't need that book. All I need is Jesus. Jesus is enough for me. With they porch monkey ass. Let me see something here. But that's where you find that at, man. Oh shit, my shit about to go dead. Hold on. He said he did. Hopefully my phone charge up so I can end this live. All right, you guys, it's time for us to go. Remember the website. Go to my make sure that you check me out on YouTube at Dr.RÉ. Same name up here, same here. Right? Go to the website 1089techvision.com. And I'll see you guys another time. May the ancestors be with you. May the gods of wealth and fortune maintain them continuously. And I'll see you guys again soon. Bye, Duke.